Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Eating While Broke. I'm your host, Coline Witt, and today we have very special guest, singer, songwriter, beatboxer, cellist, Kevin Olusola is in the building.
There we go.
And I said it right.
You said it completely right. Exactly.
Did I miss anything there?
No, that's it. I mean, I'm a dad.
You're a dad.
Husband, all that
okay.
too. But, that's exactly it.
Okay. So, before we get into your story, I am tempted to do, I don't know which one to do first. Try to get a little beatboxing in. Or, you know what? I don't know if this is possible. I'm going to challenge you to tell me what you're going to eat today in an artistic Kevin way. Is that possible?
Today, no, I can't do that.
You're like, wow, I'm going to make up a song on the spot?
Yeah, exactly.
But go ahead. Just tell us what you're eating today. I'm not going to try to make it too hard for you.
This is a Subway sweet onion chicken teriyaki sandwich. Mm-hmm. And this is something that was, a staple when I was starting off in Pentatonix. I ate this, like I said, almost every single day because they had $5 footlongs.
Yes.
So I could take this, cut this in half, have it for lunch, and also have it for dinner. And it was perfect.
So this is during your Pentatonix.
Oh yeah. This
so
is.
I wasn't too sure how far you were gonna take me back. So we're gonna go further back.
Oh,
today.
we'll go further back. But I'm just telling you, this.
So this was like your prime brokes.
Oh,
And
prime.
it's crazy because Pentatonix is huge.
Mm-hmm.
So you were struggling to make
yes.
it during, and then you get to see all the success. So it was like, after Subway, you got I don't know what you eat. That's
you want to know what I'll eat now?
What?
So I'm blessed that I can do this, but what I do is I actually order family meal size tender green boxes. Do you know tender greens?
Yeah.
Right. So I'll get a family size tender green box, and then I'll use that as my meal prep through the week. Mm-hmm. So I'll do like chicken, vegetables, salmon.
That's smart.
Exactly. And then I'll also cook a little ground turkey. Mm-hmm. I did this last night with my daughter, Kaya. Mm-hmm. And then I just put that in for some extra protein, and that's my meal throughout the week.
Wow. So you're still like financially conscious?
Yeah, because I don't want to go back there.
Yeah.
One, and two, just with resources, I want to steward them well because I want to teach my kids what it means to steward wealth so that they don't have to go through that. And then we talk about it like generational wealth building in the Black family, and that's something that I think is just super important. Mm-hmm. And so I want to do that for my kids.
Okay, I can respect that. Tender greens.
Tender
family.
greens.
You know what's so funny? I know people that do that. They'll like order. They don't use tender greens, but they'll do like Panda Express and they'll order family style. And then like if you work a 9 to 5, shout out, you order the big size, and then you could just keep it in the fridge at work and just eat it all, serve yourself all week.
Yeah, that's exactly
lunch.
it. That's exactly it. I take it, I box it up, and then as I go to either my production sessions or for the band, I just take 2 of those things, boom, I got my lunch, I got my dinner, and it's easy.
Nice. And what's a day in the life right now? Like, because it sounds like hard work.
Well, it's a lot. So Sundays is when I meal prep all that stuff. So okay. Sundays, that's usually when all the food comes in. Mm-hmm. That's when I take it. That's when I cook the ground turkey and then make my boxes. Mm-hmm. And then during the week, because I still have right now, he's 1 or like 16 months. So that's my son. So we're waking up pretty early, taking care of him. I try to get some music in when I can because I really try to do that in the hours between 4 and 6 if he doesn't wake up and, interrupt that. And then it's family time. After family time, taking kids to school, I'm either practicing or doing some of the work on my own project. Mm-hmm. And then I get to do the Pentatonix work, which I like because I get to focus on me first and what fills my soul so that my band gets my overflow, which I think is just super, super important.
And in that it's fully cohesive with you having your your outside project outside of Pentatonix?
Yeah, I actually think it's best because each member is so different. And so for me to find myself and reach the community that I want to reach, I think that just brings more people into the Pentatonix fold, because some of these people, it's been so cool to see my project kind of have the success that it's had. Like I found out a few weeks ago that over 250 million views have been on my project over my whole social media.
Wow.
Which is crazy. And a lot of these people go, I've never heard of Pentatonix, but I love what you do.
Yeah.
And then through that they go, who is this? I didn't know about Pentatonix. They're learning about it, and now they want to come see our shows too. So I think as every member kind of connects with their community, it also connects them back to the band.
100% can relate, because I only know Pentatonix because I know you first.
Exactly.
So it's definitely the reverse for me.
Exactly.
Now, take me back to, well, actually, let's try it, because I'm sure you're hungry, and this is kind of cold.
Ooh.
So let's try it.
I'm ready.
This is
Man.
the onion.
Sweet onion,
chicken
teriyaki. Yes,
sandwich. Here
Subway.
we go.
In the name.
You like it?
It still hits.
I have to get like a piece of chicken in there. Hold on. I never ordered this before.
And so the sweet onion sauce, that's the thing that just makes it for me every single time.
And then they were asking me a bunch of questions like, what vegetables do you want? What cheese do you want? And I was like, Kevin did not send me
Oh, I didn't send you those details.
any directions. So I was just like, whatever you make it to make it classic. What bread do you want? I'm like, I don't know.
I probably would have.
This is really good.
If I have to think back to that time, I think it was like a whole wheat bread, or they have like the cheese. It was probably some sort of like Swiss cheese, and they always had their salt and pepper. Always put salt and pepper on it. Oh my gosh, yeah. It was so interesting because, so we win the TV show The Sing Off as a band, and that was in 2011, and then 2012 we move. I remember we moved to West Hollywood in this apartment complex on San Vicente and Hauser Boulevard. Right across the street was the Subway. So what, 11 a.m. before we start rehearsal, I'd go get that food, come back, bring it back. And it's just so it's so like powerfully emotional for me, because I remember during that time our rent was $632.50. I remember that very, very specifically.
Each or something?
Yes, each. And in LA, that's nothing.
And you guys have a girl in your group though.
Yes.
So how did that work?
I mean, she made it work too. I mean, we $632.50. We were all in the same apartment complex, not in the same apartment.
Okay.
Like the bass singer and I were in one. Kirsty and I think her boyfriend at the time was in one, and then Scott and Mitch were in one.
Okay.
So they always met at our apartment, the bass singer and I. And I remember my father came to see where I was living at that time. Now, you have to know, my dad is a Nigerian.
And that's what makes me laugh.
Exactly, right? Like, he's a Nigerian man who came to the United States, met my mom, who's a Grenadian, both immigrant mentality, and they wanted me to pursue what I would call the immigrant holy trinity, right? Doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, right? So the fact that I, kind of defected and decided to go into music was very foreign to them. Yeah. So they come, see me, these are the kind of meals that I'm having. They're seeing the kind of place that I live in. I remember my father texted me as he was going back to the airport, and he was so sad. He said, son, I spent all of my hard-earned money to send you to a school like Yale, and now you're living here doing this with no guarantee of a future. Please reconsider, because this is heartbreaking for me as a father, right?
How do you feel in that moment when you see that text?
So I felt sad.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I knew I was doing something I was supposed to be doing. I had no idea what the end goal was.
Yeah.
But I also look at it, and I remember texting my father this. I said, I understand everything that you're saying. However, I haven't lost any of the ideals and the messaging that you've given me throughout life. I'm just using it in a completely different way. So everything you've instilled in me, the values, is all there.
But how do you combat the Yale expenditure?
Well, so I had finished all of my pre-med requirements while I was at Yale.
Oh, hilarious.
So I told Dad, look, if this doesn't work out,
I
got the plan B. I got the plan B. We are good.
Love that. Okay.
Like, we had that. And I always had that in the back of my mind.
Okay.
Honestly.
So you did all your pre-med and everything.
Pre-med requirements. And if I wanted to take the MCAT, I think the MCAT would be good for 5 years after you take it. So I was like, I got time. I hadn't taken the MCAT yet, but I'm like, I got time to make this all work. And if this doesn't work, that's fine. I actually really enjoy the idea of being a medical doctor. It's just that this started to become successful, and I was like, oh, I guess I'm not going back to medical school.
But I also think there has something that has to be said about your character, because you still respected your parents to not flunk out of Yale,
for sure,
to not drop out of Yale, to say, and I could see from your father's perspective where he'd almost have to respect your wishes because you already respected his, right?
Yeah, I finished my college degree. I did it, and I did well, and I loved it. I was passionate about all of it. It's just that I knew I would regret not at least trying music. I would regret it so much. So that's when I decided, you know what, I'm going to give it, as they say, the good old college try and put my all into it. And if nothing happened, at least I knew I gave it everything that I could. I can go back into medicine feeling happy that I did what I could. Yeah.
And then, so I'm genuinely curious, like, from that conversation, did your dad kind of bring a little umbrella throughout the rest of your career, ups and downs, kind of like, hey, man, this isn't what I wanted for you?
This is what I'll say. So I remember when the band won our second Grammy. This is 2016 or 17, I believe. And we're about to sing with Stevie Wonder, That's the Way of the World, for Earth, Wind, and Fire, for the whole audience for the Grammys. And you could see this online. It's on YouTube. And then we, with Stevie Wonder, give Ed Sheeran his Grammy for Thinking Out Loud for Song of the Year.
Yeah.
And then I sit back down in my seat. My dad's right next to me. And he goes, hey, congratulations on your Grammy. When are you going back to medical school? And I'm like freaking out. I'm like, Dad, did you not just see what happened?
Were you really freaking out?
I was like, are you? I mean, he laughed.
Oh, he was joking.
He was joking.
Oh, okay,
That's why I was like, are you serious? And then he starts to laugh. He's like, oh, son, I'm proud of you. I'm so happy for you. So that was a few years afterwards. So it's so cool to see him just say, hey, I see you. You can feed yourself now. Like, it's not, just these sandwiches and stuff. Like, you're doing good. And I'm proud of you for sticking with your guns.
Now, what was your mom's perspective? Were they in unison there? Or was there a little bit of, let's Kevin do?
I think she was more understanding. And again, she had the assurance of knowing what she's instilled in me and to know that I had finished my pre-med requirements. So I think she was a lot more chill than my dad. She's always been that way. I've always appreciated that about her. Even when I went to boarding school. So I went to boarding school for 2 years, and it was hard. And
Before Yale?
Before Yale, okay. Yeah. I went to a place called Phillips Academy in Andover, Mass. And I'd be
where?
In Andover, Mass.
It's above my pay grade.
Oh, no, in Andover, Mass.
Okay.
And so I'd be crying first semester. Oh, my goodness, I can't do it. Everything's so tough, blah, 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 blah. And my dad would be freaking out like, oh, my gosh, we made the wrong decision. What are we? And Mom's like, chill out. That's why we sent him there. Okay. Because it's hard.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Like,
okay, your mom. Okay.
Chill. He'll be fine. Yeah. And so I think he
you would think it would be the other way around. Like the mom would be more of the like softer, like, oh, and then your dad would be like, no, this is why we sent him here. So it's kind of different to see that your mom and dad play different roles.
They do. My mom, in a lot of ways, I think she's the soothing voice and character for the whole family. And that's who she's always been. And then my dad, I think he just always wants people to be their best and rise to the occasion. And because he doesn't want people to be in the place where he has been throughout his life. And he always reminds me in any conversation, because he reminds me of where he had been and, the the small one-room house that he lived in when he was in Nigeria, growing up with 5 brothers. He reminds me often. And so he I think there's a bit of a nervous anxiety there because he doesn't want his children to go back to that place. But my mom is just, that's why they're married. Yeah. I feel they complement each other very, very well.
Yeah, I like that. You seem to separate what you learned in college and what they instilled in you. Why is that? Like, was there that much of a differentiation?
To me, yes. Because I think what they instilled in me was more character building, where I think for me, what college did was give me the tools and the skill set to be a high performer to an extent. I don't think I could be doing what I do in my band and also my solo work without both parts.
What kind of character did they instill? Like, how did they go about that?
Sure, I'd say, curious. I mean, partially hard work, but understanding and knowing who I am. You know, I'm a Christian, and so the character of Christ, if you will, and who he is, and letting that be my guiding light constantly in the industry. I think that's something that they gave me because I think it instilled good things in me so that I can pursue good things within the industry. I think those types of things. And then when it comes to school, you know, it's about being extremely curious. It's about learning your limits and your resilience and your tenacity. Those things that I think combined with, you know, those good characteristics that I learned from my parents, hopefully create something that allows me to pursue my career in a way that I feel like honors myself, honors my parents, and ultimately honors God.
I love that. Wow, you're like a perfect masterpiece. Now, take me back. 2-parent household, clearly. Middle class, upper class?
Yeah, I'd say middle class. Okay. I mean, my dad's a doctor, my mom's a nurse, but they would say middle class in the sense that all the money they were using was to help us, you know, do really amazing experiences or go to boarding school. So they felt like they were always underwater, because they were always just spending money for our experiences.
Like reinvesting on you guys.
Yes, exactly.
And then how many kids did they have?
3.
3.
Yeah, so myself, my sister who's younger, my brother who's also younger.
Oh, you're the oldest.
I'm the oldest, yeah.
Oh, so you... I'm sure your dad was also nervous because he's like, you set the precedent.
That's exactly it. Like, I don't know, my baby girl gonna do this.
Now she gonna pursue her dreams.
Exactly.
Y'all ain't gonna follow this doctor path.
Exactly.
But I still have to give homage to you guys for... There's something to be said about a young person that respects their parents enough to say, I know I want to beat the drum this way, but in obedience to you guys and homage to you guys, I will respect your wishes. Because there is the path where you could say, this is the drum I'm beating to.
Yeah. Peace, bye.
You know, yeah. But I think that there was a value that you knew that these 2 individuals were working really hard to make sure that you don't have this terrible life that they had endured, or they wanted you guys to avoid. I love that you respected them enough to say, I did the work. Now please let me go play my sandbox.
Exactly.
Pretty please. See this architectural thing? My daughter has these they're like the magnet Lego, whatever you call them. Have you seen those?
Yeah, I've seen those.
Your kids?
Yeah. Well, I've seen they're like the square
magnet
cube ones that I've seen.
Have you given them to your kids yet?
Yeah, we have them at home. That's why I know. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, my daughter brings these builds these masterpieces, and they'll be up for like weeks.
Oh wow.
And then she puts a little prisoner in each little cell block that she has in her little castle that she's building on. But just she's so proud of her little masterpiece that it's like, look, I know it looks messy, but this is what I'm building. And I feel like when you go to your sandbox, you can look at your parents and say, this is, I know it's crazy, but I got a Grammy over here. I know it's crazy, but I'm making it over here. You see this little award, but in your case, they got obviously bigger and bigger and bigger. So you graduate Yale. And take me to where Pentatonix, or where you start to see a formula forming in formation where like music is starting to take lead.
So kind of like how I figured out that music was going to be my thing.
Yeah.
More? Okay, so then I would have to start probably earlier in college. So in college, I'm pre-med, knowing that I want to do medicine. And then My sophomore year of college, I actually went to a program called the Harvard Beijing Academy to study Chinese. And while I was there, one of my Chinese teachers asked me, I'll say it in Chinese actually, 你有没有想过把大提琴和表演口技融合在一起? Which in Chinese means, have you ever thought about combining cello and beatboxing? He just asked me randomly, and I was like, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
Is that because he heard you play both?
It was because I would talk about the cello a lot in class, and then I'd beatbox because I just thought, my Chinese professors thought that was the most hilarious thing. They'd never seen people like beatbox before.
And then why were you taking Chinese?
Oh, well, because at that time, so the year before, the president of China invited 100 Yale students to go meet him, his cabinet, personally for 10 days. And so I got chosen for that trip. That was the summer of after my freshman year of college. And it completely changed my life, where I said, I have got to study Chinese. I don't think there would ever be another opportunity for me to study such a difficult language. Yeah. So I started studying that sophomore year, and then Yale had a fellowship that allowed you to study either in the summer or for an academic school year an East Asian language called the Light Fellowship. So I did that for the summer after my sophomore year. So that's why I was in China studying.
Okay, that's impressive.
I mean, I just loved languages.
You were built different. I'm sorry, Kevin. You were built different.
I just loved languages,
like when
honestly.
I was 20 years old, acquiring a whole new language, I don't know. Do you think that a part of it is like the environment you grew up in? There was no intimidation when it came to schoolwork, or was schoolwork just very easy for you?
I think, again, talking about character, I think my parents really helped foster curiosity. I think there's something about the immigrant mentality where they just wanted their kids to be the best that they could. And because they knew they were immigrants, and especially Black in the country, they were like, look, you have to be the best so that somebody will even look at you as the same.
Wow. Yeah.
And I always kept that in the back of my mind, because they're like, we don't want anybody to look at you and think that just because you're Black, you can't do this or do that. And so my mom always had this phrase saying, be extraordinary and uncommon. In everything you do, don't just do what's ordinary, do what's extra. If you're going to do something common, do it uncommon. Do the thing that people don't expect you to do, because that helps the whole Black diaspora look different to the rest of the world. And I guess I just always kind of kept that in mind.
Be extraordinary and uncommon.
Be extraordinary and uncommon. Yes.
It's so funny because if you look at your career, you really took that to heart. Cello, beatboxing, cello, like
exactly.
It was completely exactly. If she ever were to say you don't listen to me, you'd be like, I'm a cello beatboxer. What are you talking? Extraordinary and uncommon.
100%. I mean, look, I'm a part Nigerian, part Grenadian, Chinese-speaking, cello-playing Kentucky boy. Mm-hmm. Like, where do I fit in?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think I have learned, especially as, when we talk about Donovan Misfit, my album, I finally realized what made me so different, and also teased. Don't get me wrong. Like, I got made fun of all the time.
And not in Yale, obviously, like in
Kentucky.
high school.
Yeah, when I was in Kentucky, oh my gosh.
What'd you get teased for?
I'm Black playing cello, first and foremost. Okay. Like, I remember kids being like, you're not supposed to be in this. You're not supposed to be in an orchestra with us. Like, what the world?
What made you pick up the cello?
My mom and my dad, they were sending my sister to violin lessons with the string teacher. The string teacher, funny enough, was actually a cellist, but she knew how to teach violin and viola for some reason. So my sister was taking from her, and they asked me, would you want to play cello? And I go, I'm good. I don't need to. But I didn't know what a cello was.
Yeah.
And so then they put this wooden box in front of me, and she just started teaching me things. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of having fun with this wooden box. And then they put a cello in front of me. And then
wait, it was just a wooden box?
Just a wooden box, just for me to get used to the feel of a cello and like what the cello feels like in between my knees.
So they just gave you a box?
Literally a wooden box. Okay. It wasn't the cello. It's just like
so they just said, sit here with this box.
Exactly, and like just try a couple things out to like feel what a cello's like.
But there was no strings?
But there were no strings. It just was
hilarious.
Just to get used to the feeling of it. And I don't know what this is. I'm just living my life. Right?
How old were you then?
6.
So 6. Like if I walk over to my 6-year-old and say, hey, put this box and pretend to play.
That's exactly it.
Okay, so then.
Sounds crazy.
You're sitting there. I could imagine my daughter going, okay.
Exactly.
Americanized child. Immigrant child's like, whatever you say, Mom.
Exactly, Mama, whatever you say, I'm just doing what you said. And so, but then they put a cello in front of me, and my mom, like, you know, she kind of said, at any point, if you don't want to do this, like, you don't have to.
Yeah.
But I just kept going. Literally, there wasn't any time where I was like, this sucks, or like.
But wait, they replaced the box with
They replaced the box with a cello eventually.
You like the sound or something?
I liked the sound. I was progressing really fast.
Mm-hmm.
It just was kind of fun. Like, and I would say this today, it still feels like an instrument that I can't master.
Really?
Yes.
After how many years have you been doing it?
After what? So that's 6, so 31 years now?
Jesus.
It feels like I still can't master it. But I'm saying that in a way where it keeps me pursuing and seeking and trying to find new ways, because there's just so much more that, whether it's with singing or beatboxing, like I want to pursue more and see what more I have to offer.
Now, at 6, I mean, I've watched some stuff. I try not to school up too much because I like to be present in the interviews. But at 6, were you making the beatboxing type sounds?
Oh gosh, I was making sound.
Okay, so you were doing it then, and then did you have an? There was a period where I remember I was playing music one year, and for whatever reason I inherited like a ear for music, like where I could imitate sounds. It's gone.
Okay, I was like, you were a beatboxer? Or like
no, piano. Like, you could hear a sound and like,
Sure.
And I don't know how that happened. It was like a brief year and then it went away. But did you, when you were playing the cello, did you have that moment of realizing that your ear and your, I don't know, your music were aligned?
I definitely knew that I could hear music and replay it.
Okay.
From ear, so playing music by ear, I knew that. I knew I had
around that age, though.
And earlier.
Okay,
like I knew that was just kind of within me. Mm-hmm. And sometimes the professors or the teachers would be angry because they're like, play what's on the music, like play what's on the sheet music. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, I'm having so much fun, like listening to all this stuff, like and just imitating what I'm hearing, right? But yeah, anyway, I started playing cello that way from that string teacher, and then. Again, the beatboxing comes whenever I'm in college in terms of bringing cello and beatboxing together. Okay. And I go, I thought it was a crazy idea for my Chinese teacher to tell me that because actually in my head, I thought I was going to get judged by the classical community. Yeah. Because how are you going to take hundreds of years of this classical music that's supposed to be in a box and so sacred and tarnish it with, what they would probably call street music?
Yeah,
right?
Like hip hop. But now, going back, because we were kind of talking about the bullying. Mm-hmm. So going back, you're black.
Yep.
You're playing the cello.
Yep.
You're honoring this classical, which, for lack of a better word, we don't see it as a black people music, and especially back then. Mm-hmm. That, maybe now it's like, oh, okay, but back then, no. How did you not end up with some type of imposter syndrome?
It's so funny. I don't think I realized like I was black playing classical music until other kids told me I was. Like, I remember I was in an all-state orchestra. I was second chair, it was my 9th grade, and some kids back behind me were like, you're not supposed to be here. And I'm like, what do you mean I'm not supposed to be here? It didn't like even register until one of my friends was like, they're saying that because you're black. And I go, wait, what? Since when was that ever I didn't even think about it. Yeah. So for me, it was more like I just knew that I loved it. The sound of my cello wasn't black or white to me. Mm-hmm. It was just music. Mm-hmm. It just hit me in my soul. So that's the first time when I realized, what in the world? Like I wasn't. It didn't exactly make sense to me until then. Mm-hmm. But then I don't think I had imposter syndrome just because like I loved it, and my teachers continued to just like foster a love of it. And I kind of just found like my own friends too, who like just loved me for me.
But the bullying didn't have any negative impacts? Like there was no coming home with some kind of...
No, I would definitely say that it would have some negative impacts. Like when I say negative, I think it was more trying to figure out if who I actually am is who I believe I say I am. Because what they're saying I'm supposed to be, which is, oh, black kid, you're not supposed to be in these academic classes, or black kid, you're not supposed to be playing this kind of instrument. But I love it. So am I who I think I actually am? Somebody who just loves this music and can just do this music, not because of my color, but because of how I love this.
Yeah.
And I think, again, that's when I the teachers that I had who really loved me just for me and making the music that I made, I just kind of continued focusing on that.
Okay.
And like, also, I think meeting other Black string players was really helpful. Like, I remember 9th grade, I went to Ithaca College for a Suzuki cello camp. And I met this guy, one of my best friends to date, Ruben Harris. And I was like, I never met another Black cellist before. And so he and I mean, we played at church together at the Ithaca camp. He's now off doing, he has a startup that's really, really successful. But like those, to see somebody else doing what I loved and just enjoying it unapologetically, I mean, that changed so much of it for me. And that's what you see today. I mean, Azinma, she's an amazing violinist, Black, doing crazy things. She was just on tour with Beyonce as her violinist. Yeah. Like, that is what I wish I saw growing up very regularly and frequently. Yeah. That I think would have made me feel less alone. So I think that's why I'm so passionate about the music I'm making now with Dawn of a Misfit, because I want kids to know, especially kids that look like me, that the things that you're probably being counted out for, the things that you're being teased for as weird or unique or as different or as weird as people may say that is, that actually might be the superpower that you have been given to change your world. Yeah. And you need to hone in on that thing no matter what anybody says, because you don't want to lose out on your superpower just because somebody says you can't. Yeah.
Damn. So the Dawn of a Misfit is out.
Yes, it is. Okay. It's out.
What is your favorite? What is your favorite track on the record?
Oh man, so there's this track called Hallelujah, I Don't Think About You.
And the breakup anthem.
Yes, that's it. My breakup anthem. That's the one.
I wish that when I go through a breakup. What did you say?
Hallelujah, I don't think about you.
I could skip a step. What'd you say?
I'll be 1-2 stepping down the street.
Yeah, 1-2 stepping down the street. Wouldn't you love if you go through a breakup and that's how the breakup really is, though? I mean, it gets there, but it don't get there right away.
For sure.
Right? So, but I listen to it and I'm like, I'm going to be there one day.
It takes time. It really takes time. I mean,
I don't know how guys are with breakups or different people are, but I know as a female, there's like a period of mourning.
That's the same thing with guys.
Oh, okay.
At least for me.
Not the way you made it sound. You was like, I said, oh, he happy.
Well, so it's funny. This song I wrote because of somebody I had worked with. Funny enough. It wasn't a romantic thing. It was actually somebody I worked with who they left our lives. And it was kind of a toxic working relationship. And it was years afterward where I go, wait a second, I didn't realize how toxic this was. So I actually worked with, you see, one of my bandmates was on that song because the person knew that person as well. And I was like, bro, you're the only one that like knows the story. Like, we should write this. And we wrote it in like 2 hours. And it was so therapeutic. We were able to just be like, oh, wait, that's what I would want to say now, like where I can just have joy about it. And like, hey, I thank you for everything it was, but now I'm going to let you leave my life and I'm going to live life unapologetically and thank you in a joyous way. Like, hey, thank you, but I'm not thinking about you no more. Yeah. Like I got to keep it moving and keep my joy. So that's where I wrote it. And honestly, I remember coming home from the demo session with my bandmate Scott and also a girl named Rosie Crane, one of our best friends. And I drove home and I said, listening to the demo, I go, this is the sound I have been looking for my whole life. I knew it. Okay. That's why I'm so excited that even this is the song that people know me the best for. Because I remember it, to me, when I think about cello and beatboxing, right, if that's the like most simple version of what I'm doing now. Yeah. If you take the cello and expand that out, that's classical music. If you take beatboxing and expand that out, that's hip hop, that's modern genre. So it's me fusing modern genre and classical music in a way that feels so seamless but has so much joy, which I think I bring when I play cello and beatboxing together. So it's my favorite song. It makes me feel like me the most, and it's also a little petty, which I also like too.
Yeah, it's a little petty. Especially if it's a work situation.
Exactly, it's a little petty.
But I ain't gonna lie, you listen to it and you're like, I want to, even if you're going through a breakup or anything relatable, you know, it's nice to hear a song that's kind of like Yeah, it kind of reminds me of is it Big Sean's like "F you"
Hey,
or something like, or shut the F up or something.
Exactly.
It's like
wait,
exactly, that's it.
Yeah.
But it's just like it's a very empowering. Outside of that song, is there another song? First of all, is there a song where there's a mourning period
on this album?
No,
I don't think so.
It's all upbeat.
Well, I'm not gonna say it's all upbeat, but it's definitely. I didn't really write a lot of relationship songs,
okay.
and I'll tell you why. Honestly, when I was first trying to understand my artistic journey, I didn't feel like I could have a lot of like love, romantic, mourning songs, because I just was like, I feel like everything that's ever written about that has been written. Like, what can I add to the conversation that I think would make what I do different? I really thought that, and only now, because I think I'm coming from the perspective of a first generation like person, or like from immigrant culture. I feel like there are definitely things that I now see where I go, oh, I don't know if people understand this experience. Like, for example, I love you, but my parents don't like you because you don't respect like what they're coming from or what they like, those type of things, right? Or, for example, like thinking about I didn't try to fall in love in the beginning because what my parents had told me was that like love is not good for your health. Love is not good for your schoolwork. Yeah, they're like, love's not good for your schoolwork. It's not good for you to like.
Yo, I need your parents. I need your parents.
I'm just saying, like that was the mentality. So I was like, I'm not gonna date because this is gonna mess up my ability to get into college.
Said that.
Well, it's what they implied as we kept thinking about schoolwork and things like that. Like if I liked a girl, they're like, okay, cool, but can you actually balance that with what you're trying to do here? Like this is important. What we're trying to, you can do this later. And I was like, oh yeah, that makes so much sense. Like I could date later, but like.
So you were able to logically say they had instilled enough structure where you could be like, I like this girl, but your parents would be like, okay, that's cute and all, but this is the track we're on, and you were able to say, you know what, you're right, and put aside your feelings.
Yeah, I think it wasn't so direct like that, but it was more the environment I lived in and what, let's say, we collectively were trying to do as a family, which was to succeed in the United States. There were just certain things where I was like, this is going to mess up my shot.
Yeah.
Just straight up. Like, I can't. I'm not trying to think about girls. I'm not trying to like, yeah, you cute. Yeah, I see you on the dance floor. Let's dance. Woo woo. But like, other than that, like, I'm about business right now. Like, it just kind of was what it was. And I think that was just instilled in me because of where they came from and what they told me. So I remember those stories. But like, yeah, obviously when I joined Pentatonix and started to become an adult, like that was a different story because like now I had done all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I think like, so those are the kind of stories though I go, oh, I can write about that, love from that perspective. Yeah. And that's why it's funny, as I've been writing for this next album, and I'm like, I want to make an album about love and relationships, like thinking about those things. Because I know that there are other like immigrant kids, whether it's kids that, they're Indian kids who come to the United States. I know they go through similar things, or like Chinese kids that go through similar things. Like I know they do because I've had the conversations with them.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I wanna add those stories because I always go like, in music, like who speaks for them? Like when I think about Burna Boy, what I love about Burna is like he speaks for Black people. He speaks for African people. He's like, look, I want the whole world to know that I am here for you and that you are more powerful than you believe.
Yeah.
That's all. He's only empowering like, and I'm like, who empowers the immigrants in a way that it's not like, well, my mom is from. It's not that. It's just the stories that they all know. Yeah. Like honestly, I got that from, and this is so funny to say this, I feel like I got that mentality from Taylor Swift.
What?
Yes, I know. Let me tell you why. So my wife is nobody expects us to like Taylor Swift of all people.
Let me tell you something though, just a side note. My production crew, they're not here today. The guy and the girl are actually really good Taylor Swift fans.
Oh, they're like big Swifties?
They're Swifties. Well, the girl for sure, and the guy is like, if Taylor Swift comes on, he's not changing it. You know what I'm saying? like it will come on, him and his boys could be working out, and everyone's just kind of like, they let it ride out, which I think is funny. I'm like, yo, we should make a skit of just Taylor Swift coming on and nobody touching to change it. But the truth of the matter is, I do have a respect for Taylor and her womanly strength, and I have a respect for Taylor and her writing ability and all that, or whatever. But But I do think it's interesting that Taylor Swift is coming up in this conversation.
Oh, for sure. No, I'll tell you why. So as I was making my album, one of the things that my label A&R asked me is like, who are you writing this for? Mm-hmm. And I think I like intuitively knew, but I couldn't figure out the way to pinpoint it and just write it down so clearly. And so my wife is a massive Swiftie, massive
That's
Swiftie.
hilarious.
And so she wanted to go to see her in concert at Santa Clara, the Levi Stadium. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm not a Swiftie, but I love my wife and I'm trying to stay married. So I'm going to go and support my wife. So I go, I meet her friends. So we're at this hotel where it's decked out in all this Taylor Swift stuff. And so we go to breakfast and I meet these two young girls. They're probably 15 and 13 and they're with their parents. And they're talking about Taylor Swift, talking about how excited they are. And this breakfast space is crowded. So we're all together eating breakfast. So I just happen to be sitting right across from them with their parents. So I asked the parents, like, do you mind if I ask your kids a couple of questions about Taylor Swift? Because I am new to this and I'm trying to understand why people love her so much because I don't understand. So I asked them, like, what is it about Taylor Swift as people who are a generation removed? What is it about her that you guys love so much? And they said, it's as if she opened up our journals and wrote everything I ever thought about love as a girl.
Wow.
And when they said that, I go, oh, that's interesting. It's not that she's just making good music. She's connecting to these girls, and the lexicon she is using is speaking to the way girls think about this stuff.
See, okay, I get what you're saying. I think I love hip hop. I love hip hop. I grew up on Jay-Z. Hip hop is like my first. I would say is my first love. And Joyner Lucas, I think is
he is the most incredible rapper. Let me tell you right now.
Joyner Lucas,
point blank,
by far. I can listen to Joyner Lucas, and it is not much he says that I just can't be like, damn, does he, walls hearing, totally relate. And there's Eminem, and there's Jay, and there's all these people that you can relate to. I think when you get to like the Joyner and the Eminem, they're less metaphoric than the Jays and the Nas and those guys. But I don't think, and I don't know, I'm just an outsider, but like when I hear an artist get that vulnerable, I almost feel like I create platforms because I want people to know that we all go through the same issues and social struggles. We just don't know it. I could look at you and be like, oh, his life must be amazing. And then we sit down and you're like, da-da-da-da-da-da. And you're like, oh, okay, we're the same. And I think when an artist breaks that vulnerability of like just pure like nakedness, that's where the fans can really like, oh, wait, we are on the same page. But I don't think I ever think that an artist intentionally writes to capture that spirit, right? Am I right?
I mean, it depends. Like sometimes they do, and sometimes they're just flowing and spitting. But again, like a lot of times, like, okay, NWA, they're speaking literally from their experience.
Yeah.
Of being it, like that is their experience. So it's like they are speaking, and people are going crazy because they're like, I know that. Yeah. I know that because my cousin, like, I know that. And so I think when you're speaking from an experience that you have and you realize, oh, wait, other people have this experience too, and you say it in a way that they go, it opens, like, the light bulbs go off, right? Then I think you really hook people. So that's why, like, I remember, like, when I went to this Taylor Swift concert and I'm seeing my wife and all of her friends, like, screaming. I'm seeing all these young girls. I go, oh, I understand it.
So
that's when I was like, who are my people?
Got it. That's how I was about to ask.
That's exactly, and that's what I was trying to figure out. Because in my head, I go, I know there are black kids that are made fun of. There are immigrant kids that are made fun of because they like things that people may say that's not either stereotypically black, or there might be white kids that say, you shouldn't be doing that. And now the thing that they love, maybe it's archery. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe it's cello. Had they had somebody like me say, hey, you're good. Let me play songs and write music for you. Like I have this one song called, I did a cover of Crazy by Gnarls Barkley. Mm-hmm. But my whole story behind it was just feeling like nobody understands me because I'm a misfit. I don't fit into any box.
Yeah.
And realizing over 17 years of making this, of finally getting to this album going, that's okay.
Yeah.
I just never had the that's okay part. And I want other kids who look like me or come from those backgrounds that go, that's okay. And there's somebody rocking with me who understands that that's okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just like finding my people.
Yeah. Well, I think children of immigrants definitely have their own lane. My mom's a Jamaican. If you're Jamaican, you already know.
You already know what it is. Come on now.
You already know the trauma that bears being a Jamaican.
Yo.
It's funny because me and my girlfriend, we talk. I've never been to Jamaica, but sometimes, when you're mixed, people discredit your blackness or your ethnicity, and I'm like, nope. I have a Jamaican mom, which means it makes me 100% qualified to say this is who I am. But I want to go back to your first record deal.
Yeah.
Take me there.
Yeah, sure. So the first record deal that we got, it's funny. So it was when we won the TV show The Sing Off for Pentatonix. We, on the show, if you win, get a $200,000. So you get $200,000 and you also get a recording contract with Sony Records. So we get the record deal, but what people don't know is like 30 days afterwards, we actually got dropped.
How?
So we meet with the record executive team, and at that time, there was a new executive in the building. I'm not going to say the name of who it was, but it was a new executive who was just trying to get the record company, I think, in a sense, solvent so that they would be able to generate cash. So they're focusing on their winners. So he comes in and he sees this new contract. He's like, what's this? I don't know what this is. And so him and his team, they ask us in that first meeting, will you guys put music behind what you do, the a cappella vocals? And we were like, no, we just won a TV show for doing not doing that. And like, people are loving that. They're like, cool. And then we found out from our manager at the time, he said, yeah, they're most likely going to drop you guys. They gave you guys a kill fee of this much to kill the contract. And so you can move. Yeah, they call it a kill fee.
Well, go back to the $200K too. Did you guys have to split that all amongst
Yes. That's why, man.
And that's taxes too. And then how long did it take to get the check?
That's exactly it. So like,
break that down. We need to hear the horror.
So this is why I think it's so funny, because people are like, oh my gosh, $200,000, y'all making money, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so first of all, $200,000, right? Taxes, so half of that, $100,000. Also, there are probably like salary, K1 stuff that I don't really understand, but I remember we get that, and it's split in 5 ways, so that's $20,000, right, each. But like, you're moving to California, right? So I have to buy a car because I don't have a car.
From there, you have to move to California?
Well, no, we wanted to move to California.
Okay.
So I had never moved to California. So like the moving fees, I don't have a car. Never had a car in my life at that time because you're in college. I don't need a car. So I'm like, buy a car for like $10,000. It was a '97 LS400 Lexus. So it was like beaten down a little bit janky, had 100-something thousand miles on it.
Were your parents at this point like on board with like helping you out a little bit?
Well, kind of, but they were kind of. So they had already helped me out, I think, from their standpoint with allowing me to helping me with pay with some college bills because obviously I have.
They're like, oh, this big Yale bill.
That's exactly
buddy,
it, right?
That you're not using.
Exactly. So and I still had to pay off the rest of that.
Jesus.
Exactly. So like honestly, we didn't really start making money until 2014 when we had our first big Christmas album. Like I remember that first year, I think we each made like $50,000 from our tour, which was like a good amount to us. Yeah. But remember, $50,000, half, we got fees for actually doing the tour.
And then you have managers and all these
That's
other
exactly
people.
it. And that's 40% off the top. People don't know that stuff. So it's 15% for management.
Yeah.
10% for your business manager. 5% for your agent. Sorry, 10% for your agent. 5% for your lawyer, right? So it's like you forget all that. And that's off the gross. That's not off the net.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just, yeah.
So now, at this point, you guys are learning the crash course of like, I know Yale teaches a lot.
Oh, they don't teach finances though.
But it's funny, you go to college and then you enter the real world and like, I don't think they discussed any of this.
No, personal finance? Where's that?
But take me back to before Pentatonix forms then.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I'm zigzagging you,
Yeah,
but we're going to
zigzag.
zigzag. Take me back before Pentatonix, because I want to know, before you guys entered the show, how did that whole formulate?
Oh, like how did we come together? So I come back. So after my junior year, I took a year off and I studied Chinese some more. I got money to study Chinese.
You and this Chinese.
Bro, I loved it. I love studying Mandarin Chinese. It was so fun. So the summer.
Is there any way to cash in on that later in life, or is this going to be just a fun hobby? I'm sorry.
No,
Am I his dad talking?
No. I hope.
What are we going to do with this Chinese?
What are we going to do with the Chinese? Why are you studying? Yeah, no. I've had a viral video from it. Other than that, no, I guess.
Yo, I'm gonna text your dad. Like, what are we doing with this Chinese?
I mean, if I ever toured China,
you
want to
know something?
That's
yes,
what I want.
Actually, it will probably come in handy, like maybe on one of your tracks or something. You never know, because there's Chinese immigrants
That's
too.
Exactly.
They could relate.
I will say this. I'll tell you actually at one time it actually came in handy, and then we'll go back to the story. So, our biggest song to date is Hallelujah.
Yeah.
And we had actually done a Christmas version of Hallelujah with different lyrics. So this is 2016. We're on tour in Asia, in Singapore. And we finish it, turn it into the label, feeling good about it, don't want to think about it anymore, we're done. But then we find out that we can't do that version because the Leonard Cohen estate had said, hey, we're not doing any other version that you can record except for my version. Mm-hmm. So we were flying to Taiwan for a show, and we had to turn it in really quickly. So we land, and then the next morning, before the show is that night, we had to go into the studio and record ourselves singing the right lyrics. Mm-hmm. So I'm speaking to all the engineers in Chinese because I'm the only one that knows how to speak to them.
Okay.
So in that case, it actually really, really helped.
Your band was like, yo, send Kevin.
Yeah, exactly.
But you want to know something? I will say this, though. You know what I overlooked in this conversation where the Chinese actually came in handy?
What?
There would be no Kevin beatboxing celloist if there was no Chinese.
That's true.
Because it was your Chinese professor.
That's exactly it.
That said, have you ever thought about bringing them too? So technically, the dues have already been paid.
Hey, I appreciate you.
Right? Have you thought about that before? But that could be your comeback. If your dad ever says, what are we going to do with this Chinese?
Exactly.
Be like, the whole
well, he never said that actually about Chinese. I just loved it. He's like, cool, that's fine. I'm not paying for it. I'm living. You don't have to pay for it. So cool. I'll send you to college. Go have your college education.
Okay, so take me back to prior Pentatonix. I'm sorry, I just had to have a little
So how we
humor
started. So I take that year off after my junior year to study Chinese. Now the summer.
You took a year off of Yale?
I took a year off of Yale.
And you didn't have a problem?
Well, because I had gotten a fellowship from Yale to be able to study for an academic year. So I did the light fellowship I was telling you about twice. Okay. Once for the summer and then one for the academic year. So we didn't have to pay a dime. So I finished that, and then that summer, funny enough, I bummed around. I didn't do anything that summer before my senior year. I was living in China, hanging out with Chinese friends, traveling, like no internship, no nothing. So a lot of people probably think you're wasting your life, whatever. I was like, I'm living my life. I don't need to do nothing. But what I did do was I started studying this piece called Julio by a guy named Mark Summer, who's part of the Turtle Island String Quartet. And I started practicing that. And I at that point, I had felt like I had gotten enough skills to try to add beatboxing throughout a whole entire piece. Before, I had just done like simple scales and beatboxing or an easy groove. And this is the first time where I said, can I do it throughout a whole piece? So I worked on that for the whole summer while I was in China.
It took a whole summer to do that?
Yeah, it took a whole summer to do that, but then it took a whole year to perfect it. Like I did it throughout my whole campus. I did it at talent shows.
How long is it?
4 minutes.
It took that long?
Because it was something new. Like I could not figure out how to make it feel seamless. Like I'd make so many mistakes while I'd be playing cello and beatboxing at the same time. Like think about that. Like,
look, I'm
trying to make that happen and work. Like, oh, it's just easy? Look, you think it's going to take me like a month?
Look, if it took this long, I don't know how you guys would feel about this, but like he brought his cello.
I did. And
I would love to know what that would sound like after a year. You've obviously perfected it. Yeah. So we're gonna get like a little.
You want to get a little right?
A little sneak peek. No, we'll do it. We'll bake it in.
Okay, we'll bake it in.
But I'll get to hear what real work sounds like, right?
I will give you the 4 levels of cello boxing.
No,
I will show it to you.
No. You said the piece. The
Yeah,
Julio
I
piece.
will.
Is that the 4 levels of boxing or the Julio piece?
No. So I'm going to show you what it sounded like when I started off to finally get to that piece. I'll just show you each step.
No, because I saw that before.
Okay.
I saw it online. No, I want to see the final.
Yeah, okay, I can do that too.
Is that horrible that I'm asking?
No, it's not horrible at all. I'll play a
but
little bit of that.
I just want to see it because it's like if it took that long to learn it.
Yeah,
I want to witness greatness.
Yes,
that's all I'm saying.
I will play you a snippet of that. That's easy. Don't worry. Yes.
I get that.
Yes.
Okay.
You are good. Don't worry.
Okay. Cool.
So
took that long.
It took a year of performing it and getting comfortable with it before I felt like really, really solid in that. For me.
A year, meaning you played it every day?
I played it maybe not every day, but throughout campus. People would ask me to go for talent shows. I'd play it at those. I would play it I actually use it for my audition for music school because I thought, I want to try this music thing for a little bit. Why don't I go to music school? But then what happened was my senior spring semester, I got nominated for a senior prize in the arts. And so I needed to show a portfolio of work. So I said, well, why don't I use this piece and show that to the arts committee? So one of my friends, Jake Bruin, he filmed me playing this piece. And he said, bro, why don't you put this up on YouTube? And I'm like, what? Nobody cares. Nobody cares about this piece. Nobody cares about this kind of music. It's not what Jason Derulo was popping at the time. It's not Jason Derulo. It's not Usher. It's just a cello piece. That's it. And he goes, yeah, but you have nothing to lose. And I was like, that's true. I don't have anything to lose.
Okay.
So, I recorded it. I put it up online, went to bed. Didn't think anything of it. A few days later, my roommates knocked on my door and they told me, yo, your video's number 4 on Reddit. And like, to me, I go, what's Reddit? I had no idea what Reddit was. I don't know what that is. Like, what is read who, like what? Like, I didn't get it. But then the video was getting hundreds of thousands to millions of views. And I'm like, what is going on? Why is this happening? I'm just trying to graduate and literally at that time finish my senior essay. Like, I'm not thinking about all this stuff. Opportunities were coming. New York Times had asked me, for the next cello beatboxing video you do, we want an exclusive premiere. And I'm like, it took me a year to get the first one. So it's about to take you another year to get the next. Like what? Like, was not prepared. But that video got to the eyes of our friend Ben Bram. Ben Bram is one of the producers of Pentatonix, but he was also a producer on the TV show The Sing Off.
Okay.
And one of the a cappella groups on the show sent him that video saying, hey, have you ever seen this kid before? And my bandmates, Scott, Mitch, and Kersey had just joined together to form for this TV show, and they had found a bass singer, but they had gone through 4 to 5 different beatboxers, and they had not found the right person. But they were like, that's the guy. He sent it to them like, you need this guy. So they literally Facebooked me. Scott Facebooked me.
I love Facebook answered this whole conversation.
That's literally it. He Facebooked me. He's like, bro, look, we just saw your video. This is dope. We're trying out for this TV show. Don't know if you're interested in this. And I said no. I was like, this is not something I'm interested in. I've seen so much acapella. I'm acapellaed out. I don't want to do this. Oh, yes. I said no.
Because, did you even see their work?
Not yet.
Okay, got it.
So he sent me after that, like, hey, I want to send you just a video of us singing. Just check it out. I know you already said no, but just check it out and see what you think.
Who said that? Who?
Scott.
Scott was the one with determination.
Yes.
Shout out to Scott.
Exactly. Scott was.
Don't take no.
He definitely did not take no.
Okay.
He was, and he's still that way. He's still like, he's determined when he wants something. But he sent me a video of them singing Telephone by Lady Gaga.
Okay. That's a good song. Okay.
It's a great song. And they were singing it for their high school show choir concert. And I was like, this is actually
kind of young?
Yeah, I mean, they were younger than me. So
okay.
I was 22. They were 18, 19 at the time. So I see this video and I'm like, okay, that's cool. And he goes, can you just show us like a little, like, can you do a little just beatboxing by itself? So I finished my last final and I sent a little video of me beatboxing to them through Facebook.
Even though you still weren't interested.
I still was. I was like, I was starting to get a little bit more interested.
Okay, after you heard them sing.
After I heard them sing.
Got it. Okay.
So I sent a little video of me doing this thing. And he was like, yeah, this is perfect. You should join us. And I'm like, okay, when is the audition? He goes, it's this date. So which is 2 weeks after I graduate from college. I thought about it and I said, and honestly, my thought process was, you know what? I'm meeting new people. I'm going to try music out anyway. It's like it's gonna be like a summer camp, like a little music summer camp.
And then where was this audition?
Well, that audition. Oh, the audition for the TV show was in Los Angeles.
Okay, so you had to get on a plane.
So what we did is that I paid for half the flight, and he asked his mom to pay for the other half. Mm-hmm.
Scott.
Yes.
I like Scott. He's
Scott
like, I'm gonna get this job. I'm gonna get you.
Get this thing.
Well, you gotta go and ask your mom.
Exactly. Hey, mama, look, I don't know if it's gonna pay any dividends, but like, look, I'm gonna ask this guy. I don't know who he is.
I love
He could
that.
be crazy. That's exactly it.
Okay.
So I graduated, and then 2 weeks later, I'm on a plane. I get there on a Friday. And then I meet them the day before the audition.
Mm-hmm.
We practice literally just the day before the audition, all 5 of us. And I'll never forget, we were all like, wait a second. This sounds good. Mm-hmm. Like even me, well, like I said, I did not like acapella. Like point blank did not like it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, this is...
That's how I feel sometimes, like musicals. I'm not really a fan of them, but
yeah,
like,
I'm not a musical person.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I'm no. And it's so funny because I'm in this band.
You can't say that.
But I did. Musical, like my bandmates love musical. It's not necessarily my thing.
Okay, that makes me feel good that you would admit that. Okay.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'll be fully honest.
Okay.
Now I just did see a musical recently that I really did like called. No, I did. This is the first one where I was like, oh, this is kind of fly. It was oh my gosh, like
it wasn't the Alicia Keys thing, was it?
No.
Have you heard about it?
No, I actually. Did she have a musical up right now?
She had like a Hell of a Kitchen or something. Hell's Kitchen.
Hell's Kitchen. Oh, I didn't know she did that.
I think she did.
Oh,
well, I don't know if she was in it, but it was her. Okay, go about your stuff.
Yeah,
I don't want to
anyway,
derail.
yes, okay. So we do that, and I'm like, this is kind of fly. So then we do the audition the next day, and I didn't understand the scope and the magnitude of the show. There were hundreds of a cappella groups trying out from all over the country.
Oh my God.
I didn't know that. So I'm coming in blind, just living my life. Because I didn't put any pressure on it. I was like, yeah, I'm going to go in, live my life, whatever. So we do the audition, and I'll never forget, we do telephone, we do one other song, and they were really liking it. They said, can you improvise something for us on the spot? I'm like,
like the Subway sandwich thing?
Literally, kind of like that. Like, can you do a little jingle or do something? And we're like, we know. So
yeah, because you have to be in harmony, and you guys have to like practice.
Exactly. I think it's funny. So, somebody just sent, I think Scott, a video of that audition tape, and he goes, I don't know how they chose us because we were terrible. Like that part of it, we did. Oh, sorry.
Oh, you guys had to improvise.
Yeah,
and
we had to
Just
improvise.
met
and we just met. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, what do you mean? So anyway, I remember, so we finished the audition. I'm not thinking we killed it or didn't. I just like, cool, we did it. We go to Olive Garden immediately afterward because we broke. We broke. Go to Olive Garden. We're sitting outside of Olive Garden. Scott gets a call, and he's like, okay, yeah. Wow, okay, cool. Thank you. And we're like, what happened? He goes, we got on the show. And I'm like, we're one of 16 on this show. So 16 groups. I'm like, oh, wow. So we're trying to figure out a name for our group. We came up with Pentatonix, and they were like, that's a terrible name.
Yeah, that's a hard name.
It's a hard name.
How would you come up with that?
So
I thought you were gonna say we were looking at Spoon at Olive Garden. blah blah.
All right, no. So we came up with the name because there's a scale in music called the pentatonic scale. And it's a 5-note scale that is used in all different types of music. And because of how diverse we were and we love all types of music, we thought that could be a really good thing that represents who we are.
How like smart you guys are.
That was all Scott. He learned that in theory class. I'm along for the ride.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I was along for the ride. I was like, cool, sounds good to me.
You're like, how do you spell it though?
Exactly. How do you spell it though? Right. And it's funny because they were like, you guys should call it yourselves Fifth Harmony. And we were like, Wow. Yeah, exactly. Right. I was like, there's already a group now called that. There was another name was like Plead the Fifth. Like it was bad. It was bad.
I'm glad that Scott exists 100%. Just to save the little bit of savings he did. He did. Okay.
So that's how we formed.
Okay. I love that. It's a beautiful story. For those of you guys that don't know, I met Kevin like 20 years ago, over 20 years ago. He didn't even know who I was. But it was cool though, because I was telling Kevin, I remembered him because he was so remarkably talented. And I saved his number in my phone. And I have this rule with my cell phones because I do actually have a lot of people's numbers in my phones. And when you transfer phones, they don't always transfer the numbers over.
That's true, yeah.
And so I keep all my phones. I have a cabinet that has like 10 iPhones in it.
Are you serious?
Yes, because every
from
once
like
in a while,
iPhone 6,
it's a lot. Androids, all of them, because I had learned that whenever I transfer phone, they don't always transfer, and sometimes I may be looking for XYZ's contact, and I'm like, I know I have it, maybe 3 or 4 phones ago, I have the number. But ironically, by the grace of God, Kevin, I promise you, like, I'll have, like, let's just use Tom Brown or whatever. It'll say Tom Brown, Tom Brown, Tom Brown, Tom Brown on my phone, but none of them will actually have the number or the email. But I think on yours, did I have your email and your number?
Maybe.
But
we had definitely emailed, and I saw that.
I had looked, and I no lie, had his number in my phone. I called it. Of course, he didn't answer. He probably like, whatever. And I left this voicemail like, I know you don't know me, or you may not remember me, but we know somebody that, and I was lucky enough that we knew a mutual. But I cold called. And did a cold email, and somehow we almost didn't work it out because of scheduling, and then we almost didn't work out again because of Kevin's team is very bulletproof.
They are thorough.
They slipped him off the email. Like, he was like,
y'all.
"What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Yo, they pulled you off that email and was like, I know you think this is how it's going down, but this is how it's really going down." And I was like, oh. So I went to dates and really thought like, oh, this interview may not happen. But you always come prepared. So I was like, I'm going to dress my best. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to show up. I'm not even going to tell Trevor, the producer, that this may get canceled. And I was like, damn, I'm probably going to have to pay him for his time. So I was like, I wonder if he would let me get away with not paying him today. Probably not going to happen. But just in case, because, if talent cancels, I still got to pay.
100%.
And so, but I'm so thankful. But one of the things I wanted to share with you guys is like, Kevin and I were talking earlier, is like, when you watch your artistry and you see the talent and you see what goes into it, it's like, I don't think you can really fully put it into perspective if you don't really know the person. You don't get to see their growth. And yes, I remember Kevin. He was younger than me. But very talented, and I remember just being like, yo, this kid's different. And I followed him on, like, if it was socials or whatever, I always made sure to follow you. And again, I'm a fan of hip hop, so you bring cello to a beat and just uniqueness. I just was always a huge fan. So I think it was LinkedIn or somewhere, one of your socials, I started seeing, like, I was like, oh, Kevin's doing stuff, and so I followed you. And it's just crazy to see your journey up close and from when you were like young, and to know that you didn't give up, because if you did give up and if you didn't take Chinese,
right,
we may not be sitting here, and I don't go to the doctor that often, so we probably would have never seen each other.
Yo, that's funny. Oh my gosh.
Would have never happened. So, but thank you for honoring your parents and respecting your parents and giving homage to your family and stay in the course, because you do that, there's going to be other kids of immigrant children, immigrants, black people, brown people, and other people that because you let your light shine, they're able to do the same.
That's my hope. I appreciate that.
Even just this interview gives me like another week before I quit. I'll wake up 3 days from now and be like, I quit.
I'm done with this. I'm out.
But no, I think it's really important that we share these stories, and I'm super thankful that you showed up. Super thankful on many levels. I did not think this interview was going to happen, and I'm glad you responded to my emails. Of
course. Hey, Trevor, you still got a job, man. You good?
And you said, yeah, Trevor got paid today.
Yeah, Trevor got paid today.
Because I was sitting there like, I called you.
How's Trevor going to get paid today?
I was sending your team emails like, still going to happen?
Right.
And then I was like, fuck, I'm going to have to pay Trevor.
And I didn't get those emails clearly because...
No, I made sure that we responded and copied you on the ones today because I was like, well, maybe he'll be like, this is in my schedule.
Right, for sure.
Of course, we had to try to manipulate it.
I understand.
But thank you so much for your time.
Of course.
Guys, I am going to... This is very terrible of me, but I want to take advantage of having Kevin in the studio, so I will be having him just play a little something, which, by the way, his team did not approve. He ain't bringing no cello over there. I was like, oh, my God.
And honestly, I didn't even really know, so I'm glad to bring it.
But, yeah, I wanted to see your talent and see the growth, and, I want to see what a year's worth of work looks like, so I'll record it on my iPhone and have my team bake it in so you guys could enjoy it, too. But thank y'all for tuning in. Please go check out Dawn of a Misfit.
Yes.
Out now anywhere. And enjoy that. And if you're going through a breakup, hallelujah. Peace.
I don't think about you.
I don't think about you. No, peace.